Of the Riff Rundown. So happy to have you guys here. Today is Saturday, August 20th, 2022. Happy to be here. My name is Angela Petrilli here with a brand new episode with the fine folks at Fishman. As always, such an honor to hang out with you guys every Saturday and teach you guys some of my favorite tunes. I have gotten so many requests for this song, and it's such an honor to teach this one today, one of my favorite Soundgarden songs. We're going to be learning Blow Up the Outside World by Soundgarden, written by Chris Cornell. This is a stunningly beautiful song, beautiful melodies, really beautiful chords, an incredibly delicate yet beautiful solo that he plays over this too. It's just an awesome piece of music. And again, as a huge Chris Cornell fan, I'm so honored to teach it today. And so thankful that all of you asked about this tune. So we're gonna learn it today. I have an electric today because when I noticed a lot of the live versions that when Chris was playing this song, he was playing a telly. So I'm playing a telly in honor of Chris today. If you happen to have an electric guitar, awesome. If you have an acoustic, super cool too. We're gonna be in standard tuning today for this song. All right, so as always, I like to know where everyone's tuning in from. So let me know where you're tuning in from and your favorite song that came out of the 90s. All right, rock, grunge, whatever it is, I want to know. So let me know where you're tuning in from and your favorite song out of the 90s. So here we go. Here's Blow Up the Outside World. So again, we're going to be going over every single part of this tune. I did most of it there. We're going to get into the solo section, the outro, which is really cool. Some really cool chord choices there. As you can notice, we have a lot of open chords, but we also have a lot of interesting bar chords in this song too. Again, those of you who aren't familiar with this song, go and listen to it. There are some beautiful acoustic versions of this and some really great live versions too. And of course, the album version is really awesome too. So a really fun one here. Again, I like to challenge all of you with different types of chords and to really get you guys thinking and expand your playing. All right, so before we get started here, let's go ahead and see where everybody's tuning in from. All right, we got Windsor, Canada, we got Italy, Ciao Piacere, Italy, thank you for being here. We have Chicago, Myrtle Beach, Munich, Plymouth, Connecticut, South Carolina, we have Brazil, Newcastle, UK. Thanks for tuning in, Chris. We got Jake from Glasgow, Scotland. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Let me know some 90s tunes you guys like too. We got Toronto. Thanks for being here, Craig. Mike from Orlando. Jimmy G from Michigan. Thanks for being here. Got New York City, San Jose, Oklahoma, Truckee, California. This is fantastic. Thank you all so much. Iowa too. Everybody's here. Everybody's here. This is fantastic. Thank you all so much. And Germany. Fantastic. Thanks for being here, everybody. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So with the intro here, again, we're in standard tuning. Electric or acoustic guitar is cool with this. We're gonna go with just our basic E chord here in that open position. All right, so for my beginners, real quickly, here's how we play that E major chord. First finger, first fret of the G string, that is our G sharp. We're gonna go ahead and put our second finger on the second fret of that A string. That note is B. All right, third finger, second fret of the D string. That note is E. Strum everything. Again, we hit our target 1, 3, 5, E, G sharp, and B. There they are, folks. Okay. So now from here, we're gonna go to a C chord. Okay, so again, for my beginners, real quickly, here's how we play that C chord. First finger, first fret of the B string, there's our C. Second finger reaching up to the second fret of the D string, that note is E. Okay, third finger playing C, third fret of the A string. Want to make sure our fingers are nice and curled here, all right? Curled like bridges. I got like a claw, okay? So we want a really nice curl here. We want our fingertips really getting those strings, okay? Get as close to the frets as you can when you're doing that. All right, so just like that. So again, C, E, G, 1, 3, 5 for that major chord. Okay, so we're gonna do here, we're gonna switch between this E and this C. So it would be something like this. And notice how there's a little bit, right? We've got those open strings in between that E and C. This is great. There's a lot of dissonance and really cool melodies in this song, so I encourage that. Okay. Hear it? What Chris Cornell also, what he does here is he lifts up that first finger. So when we lift up our first finger when we're playing the C chord, it becomes a C major 7. So it's a 1, 3, 5, 7 chord formula there. The 7 in this case is going to be our B note, which is why we lift up that first finger, right? And that will give us that B note. So here it is in context. I'm going to play this through slowly. Follow along. All right, here we go. Lifting that first finger. So that's what's happening there in the intro. This is gonna happen 4 times, all right? If we play it to speed. Now, when I was watching a few of the live versions, I also noticed he did something like this too. And it's a really cool thing. Notice he does it a little bit more in the verses rather than the intro, but it is so beautiful. Have a listen to this. So notice how that C shape, we bring it up a whole step. So your first finger should be on the 3rd fret of that B string. That note would be D. Your second finger is going to be on the 4th fret of the D string. It's going to be an F sharp. And your 3rd finger is going to be on D, 5th fret of the A string. You're going to strum everything from the A string downward. So just like that. All right. So that's some more added color that we can do to this. Again, strumming from the elbow here, nice and light. All right. Really feeling the flow of this song. It's really, really good stuff. Again, nice light touch here. I'm using a lighter pick for this song in particular. I like those nice little trebly tones and again, really highlighting the tonalities of a telly, which I think is always a cool thing. All right, so from the top, I'll let you know when we transition over to that sliding D type chord. Okay, so here we go. Okay, let's do that again. Nice and slow here again. Now with the C major 7. Okay, so this is going to follow through now into the verse. So the verse is where we can really utilize going in between that C major 7 and that sliding, right? Really cool D chord with that G note in there. Okay, so for the verse, E to C, C major 7, E. Now let's slide up to C, C major 7. All right, so that's going to be in the verse. Those 3, 4 chords. So now as we get into this next part of the verse here, that no matter how hard I try or how far I fall, that moment there, we're going to go from this E major here, but what we're going to do next is we're going to go and play an E7, all right? So, and it's going to look and sound like that. Here's how we get there. From your E major chord, okay, I want you to lift that third finger up. We're not going to need it, all right? And that note that we're exposing as we do this is going to be that D note, which is our flat 7, which makes this a 7th chord, all right? And then what we're going to do here, we're going to add another D note here with our 4th finger, 3rd fret of that B string. So what we're going to do, we're going to strum every string here. It's going to sound like this. Okay, so that's the no matter how hard I try, no matter how hard I fall. On that section, all right? To give you context, here's how it sounds. Let's do that again from the top. The next 3 chords here, we're going to play a D major, then we're going to play a D sus2. All we do is we lift the 2nd finger, exposing that E note, that's our 2, then to C major. Okay, so it'll sound like this in context from the E to E7 progression. So after that C chord, we're going to add a G to an F sharp. I'm going to play this through, then we're going to go back, talk about the notes that we're doing and how to play the chords, all right? So here we go from the top of the verse. Really awesome chord progression, all right? So we go to that C chord, again, that C, E, G. From here, I'll give you 2 different options on how to play this G chord. I like to play it open here. I noticed sometimes he did use the bar chord G into the F sharp, which works, right? Because we're keeping a similar pattern with the chord there. Could do that too. I like to have the openness. And and then you get that bar chord and it really brightens it up. So again, for my beginners, G major, how we do this, first finger, second fret of that A string, that note is B. Your second finger reaching up to the third fret of the E string, that note is G, that's our root, all right? Third finger, third fret of the B string, that note is D, and your fourth finger is on the third fret of the E string, that note is G. Strum everything. Okay, so that's option one for my beginners. For if you want bar chords, how we would do it is like this. First finger across all 6 strings at the third fret, all right? So then push through, again, that thumb. Notice how on the back of my telly here, see this skunk stripe? Those of you who are playing an electric guitar, if you have a Fender, a lot of times they have this skunk stripe. Have your thumb on top of that skunk stripe, okay? It's a good position when you're doing these bar chords, okay? Push through. Okay, it's a good foundation for these bar chords here. So that first finger across all 6 strings. Second finger placing that on the 4th fret of the G string. That is our B note, B as in boy. Third finger reaches up. Remember to keep them curled here. 5th fret of the A string. That note is D. That's our 5th. And your 4th finger on G, 5th fret of the D string. Strum everything. So those are your 2 options in getting to that G chord. Then to our F sharp, all we're gonna do, because G and F sharp, right, they're a half step away, and in terms of guitar, that's 1 fret for us. So we take this G shape, right, this G chord, and we bring everything back a half step, okay, to F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. Okay, which is gonna be our F sharp major chord. There it is, okay? So let's go through this nice and slowly here from the top of the verse, all right? The first pass through, I will do with the open G. The second pass through, I'll do with the bar chord, all right? So here we go. And again, folks, this is a live Q&A, so if you guys have questions, I will take a couple right after this, all right? So here we go. Let's do the pass with the G bar chord. Here we go. So after this point here, when we play this F sharp major, we're just gonna strum it through once, and we're gonna go ahead and arpeggiate it, right? We're gonna play some of the notes that are in that chord. We're gonna go backwards, climbing up from that high E string, B string, G string, D string. Now he does this a little bit different every time when he would do this live. Like that, all right, to give it a little bit of color. So I'm getting some questions here. Folks are asking about the amp. Today it's actually a little bit different. I am playing through my Fender Hot Rod Deluxe. Today, my Blues Junior, the tubes decided they no longer wanted to work this week, so I need to take it to the amp doctor. So today I have my Hot Rod, my Fender Hot Rod Deluxe here. Super great amp, I absolutely love it. As far as the effects, I am going straight Telly, so I have the Greg Cox signature Telly pickups here from Fishman, right, the Fishman Fluence. I've got those in here. I am in position 2, and I'm using voicing 2 as well. So if you notice here, there's like a little button, and I go in between voice 1 and voice 2. I'm on voice 2 today, and then in the second position on the Telly here. I'm going straight in. There are no effects. I kept this clean on purpose. There is a little bit of dirt on the song, but again, I wanted you guys to hear the Telly tone nice and clear. And also, if you guys want to know more about the pickups and the Fishman gear I'm using, I have a link in the video description too, and you can check that out whenever you'd like. But yes, this is the Greg Cox signature Telly Fluence pickups in here. They're killer. I love them. I did a country gig with these a couple days ago, and it sounded so good. So shout out to Greg and the folks at Fishman. These pickups rock. They're so great. Okay, so what's happening there? We have that F sharp. From here, we're going to go, it's going to be B major to G major, okay? To C, to A minor 7, back to that F sharp. So it's going to sound like this. I'm going to do it from the F sharp. So that's what's happening there. Again, really, really interesting chords in this song. Really great melodies. It's awesome. So with our B major chord here, what we're going to do is we're going to play it in this fashion here. Now, I noticed when Chris would play this, he liked to use his fourth finger a lot in playing these types of bar chords. I'm a fan of using the third. I like to have my second and fourth finger free to do any suspensions, or if there's another chord coming right away that's maybe like a minor 7 or like a major 7, I like to have those fingers free. That's what I like to do. I like to have the second and fourth finger free. So that's how we're going to play this B chord. I'll show you how to do it here. First finger across the A string through the high E string, okay, second fret. The tip of our first finger is on that B note. That's our root, all right? Your third finger here, placing that across 3 strings, the 4th fret of the D string, G string, and B string, all right? And we're going to go ahead. Should look and sound like that. And if you can get that high E, that F sharp, right there at the 2nd fret of the E string, that'd be great, all right? So that's what's happening there, all right? So we then go to a G chord. We're going to do the bar chord G. Right, that we already discussed it a moment ago. Again, G, B, and D are target centers there. To a C major. Now, I noticed too, when he would play this live, he would do a C sus2 here. What is that? How do we play it? It adds a little bit of movement to this C chord. All we're going to do, okay, to play the C sus2, just lift your second finger up. Notice the difference of the sound. Here's C major. And here's C sus2. I'm lifting that second finger up. Keep the first finger and third finger where they are. Nice and open, right? That exposed D note there really allows for that sound. It's quite beautiful. And it's a quick little hammer on there. Okay, so he's playing that C. Then we go to an A minor 7. All we're going to do here from that C chord, now we are going to lift the third finger, all right? Now the A string is open. That is our root here, all right? So those notes in that order, we have A, we have E, 2nd fret of that D string. We have the open G there. That is our flat 7. And then we have the C note here. Okay, 1st fret of the B string, that's our flat 3rd. So when making a minor 7 chord, the formula here, 1 flat 3 5, flat 7. We see them all here, A, C, E, and G. Okay, from here, we go back to the F sharp major. All right, so just like that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through this slowly here. From the top, we're going to go through these chords. The first pass, I will go ahead and do the commentary so we can switch. The next pass, I will do without the commentary, and you guys follow along both times, all right? So here we go. From the top of the verse. I'm gonna do it a little bit slower. It's the E7, D, D sus2, C, G, F sharp. Now to B, G, C, sus2, A minor 7, to our F sharp. Let's do that again without the commentary. Here we go, top of the verse. B major. All right, so now what we're going to do here, we're going to finish up verse 1 with B major, A, and F sharp. And then there's a really, really awesome riff that's super easy, that's really fun, that we will close this out with. All right, so here we go. So we've got little fast timing there. I'll go ahead and do that again. So again, B to A to F sharp. Now, if you find this helpful, when I noticed when Chris was playing this live, he would go ahead and put his first finger across the D string, G string, and B string like this. All right, so if you find that that helps you when you're doing this, I really like playing my 8 chord like this most of the time. So if you catch me doing that, it's because I like to play it that way. But if you find that this is helpful in switching between these chords, fantastic, all right? Fantastic stuff. So here we go. So from the F sharp, so. And notice with that F sharp, we hit that F sharp first, strum the rest of the chord. Again. Now the riff here, super easy, really cool. Open E string, E note. Get your first finger, 2nd fret of that E string, F sharp. Give it a good tug, not too much, just enough to change that pitch ever so slightly. Bring it back to true, F sharp. And release back to E. Let's do that again. Now in context, here we go. And head into verse 2. So we're going to do here, we're going to go through the whole first verse. All right, here we go. So that is the first verse. I love that riff. It's so like ties everything together. It's awesome. It's so great. So we go into verse 2. So here's the progression for verse 2. And I'll say the chords and then I'll go ahead and play it for you guys. So it's going to be that E to C, right? And then we can move up to that really cool D chord there. E to E7, to that D, D sus to C, to G. We're going to do that F sharp again. Back to B, G, C, A minor 7, F sharp. But after that, we go right to a whole note strum of A major. This is going to lead us to that pre-chorus, all right? So here is verse 2, all right? So here we go. leads right into the pre-chorus. I give you everything I need. So that part, we're going right into it. It's just, oh, it's such a good song. All right, so the pre-chorus chords are gonna sound like this. So again, that A chord, let it ring. Get back to it. Our pre-chorus. And again, I'm keeping this, at least the guitar tones, clean here. There is a bit of dirt. There is a bit of like that distortion here between Chris and Kim on this tune. It's just, oh, it's so good. But yeah, I really wanted you guys to hear the pickups and really hear the nuances with a clean guitar today. So yeah, it's really great stuff. Let's get into this pre-chorus. So again, holding that A chord like that, if that's cool, if you want to play it the way that I teach it a lot of the time, cool too. Just notice that's how Chris would do it. All right. So really heavy there. That's going to be that opening part there with that A chord into that pre-chorus. Just like that. Again, let the pick do the work for you here. Notice how sometimes I get that high B string, sometimes I don't. It's cool. It adds a lot of nuance to this. Okay, from here we're going to go to a C chord. Really let it rip here. Nice open string. Then we go to our B major bar chord. Let's look over those three. Here we go. From the whole note A there. Let's do that again. One more time for good luck. Here we go. C. Back to B. One more time. The next chords here, they're very interesting, all right? Check it out. G major, G, B, and D, right, to C sharp major. Again, melody always wins when you're writing tunes, and this C sharp major just so hits those notes that he's singing right there in that pre-chorus. It's just killer. Here's how I like to play this C major chord. Or C sharp major rather. First finger across the 4th fret of the A, D, G, B, and E string like this. Again, pushing through with that thumb at the back of the neck there, all right? I don't want to see your thumb up here. It's not going to allow your hand to stretch as it needs. All right, so putting that thumb in the middle of the neck, always a good call. All right, when we're doing those bar chords there. Now what we're going to do here, your 3rd finger, placing that on the 6th fret across the D string, G string, and B string. Okay, so the chord will sound like this. And if you can get that G sharp on the bottom. So like that. Excellent. Okay, so here we go here from the top of that pre-chorus, A chord strum it. Let's resolve that with A major. It feels a little bit better, right? A major here, 5th fret of that E string. That's your A note here. 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the A string. That note is E. 4th finger rather. 4th finger. Yes, right here. 4th finger on the A, 7th fret of the D string. Your 2nd finger, 3rd. Sorry, that is the 3rd. It is the 6th fret of the G string. That is your C sharp. And then you have your E and your A on the 5th fret of the B and E string, respectively. All right, so we'll resolve with that. Let's go ahead and look at the pre-chorus one more time. There we go. A little itchy eye, but we're good now. We're live, folks. Okay, here we go, top of the pre-chorus. Let's do that again. Let's break the speed down just a little bit. Here we go. Let's do that again. Let's keep it at this tempo. Again to speed. From this A chord, we're going to go back to our C. Let's go ahead and make this a bar chord. All right. You could play it as an open chord. All right. When I was watching him play it live, I noticed he did both. So whatever is comfortable for you there. Coming back from that A chord, I would suggest if you want the open sound, go with the open chord. You want more of the power chord type feel, go with the bar chord. From this C, we're going to go to an F sharp major. Okay. And then from there, we're going to lift our 4th finger, because now this chord becomes an F sharp 7. Okay, and the flat 7 is the note of E. All right, that is the flat 7. So let's play that whole thing through, because once we do that F sharp 7, then we go back to the chorus. All right, so here's the whole pre-chorus. I'm going to play it to speed. That F sharp 7, okay? Last time, then we're going to get into the chorus. C, there we go. And then to the F sharp, there we go. Lucky for us here, the chorus, we know it already. E and C. So that blow up the outside, blow up the outside. That's what's happening there. So, with that C, could you make it a C major 7 too, like we did at the top? Yes. So, we're going to do this a few times here. We're going to end this chorus with a big D major chord, D, F sharp, and A. And we're going to let that ring. All right? So, that's what's happening so far there. Again, such a totally, totally cool song. So from there we go to verse 3, then we do another pre-chorus into another chorus. Now, what I'd like to do is go over the solo that Chris does over this. I saw this solo from a live version that Soundgarden did back in 2010. The video's up on YouTube. You can check it out. So that's where I was watching him play it. It's so cool and melodic. It's great. It's great. So we're going to be going over that one today. This was done live, and then we'll finish up the rest of the song with the bridge, chorus, and the outro, which has some pretty awesome chords in it too. And again, those of you who are enjoying these lessons, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps the cause a ton. Share these videos with a friend, as always, doing new lessons every week. It is just such a blast, and yeah, I enjoy it too, and it's so cool seeing a lot of the same folks here week after week, and a lot of new names too. So it's really, really great. So be sure to subscribe. And again, if you want to find out more about the cool gear that Fishman has and all the cool stuff they're up to, be sure to click the link in the video description too. All right. So this chorus part, or this solo part rather, this is happening over that E to C major 7 progression. All right. So my beginners, if the solo is maybe going to be a little out of your playing zone for right now, okay, because I'm sure you guys will get to play this. You could just stick with doing that intro, E to C, and that's C major 7. All right, so this solo is what's being played over that. So I'm going to go ahead and play through the solo here. Again, it's very, very melodic, really, really cool. So here's the solo. A really cool melodic solo. So that's what Chris is playing over Kim's really epic big solo. So let's go ahead and break this up into the parts. So what we've got here, open E string, the low E string, to B to C, 7th fret of that E string to the 8th fret of the E string, which is C. So E, B, C. We're going to slide up to that D note, 10th fret of that E string, sliding it back to B, 7th fret of the E string. Here we go. Pretty simple, right? Let's do that again. Okay, one more time. Like that. All right, let's do that again. Now part 2 sounds like this. Going to the G sharp 4th fret of that E string, we're going to strike that note twice, just like that, to A, 5th fret, sliding that A note now to B, 7th fret of the E string, back to G sharp, 4th fret. So here we go, in context. Now, let's go ahead and do that again. Just like that. So Tom is asking, did you change the pickup positions for the solo? I did not. Keeping it as is. For these Fishman Fluents, I have the telly in position 2, and then voicing 2 here on the little voicing button here, which is super great. So it's a little bit darker, a little bit more output. Again, super, super cool sounding pickups are great, and they're quiet, which is my favorite part. It's great. So here we go right now. The first 2 parts. Here we go. Again. Part 3 is going to sound like this. So, how we do that here. G sharp, 4th fret of that E string, walking it back to that F sharp, 2nd fret, then to E, open E string. Now, if you want to let that E ring, like I'm doing it right now, because I love a guitar with great sustain, you can slide to that other E here, 7th fret of that A string. So it'll sound like this. Let's do that a little cleaner. Like that. See how it's kind of drony? It's cool, right? So that's the 3rd part. So now in context, let's combine all 3. I'll slow it down a little bit. Here we go. Now, to end this 3rd part, we're going to hammer on, right, to the 9th fret of that A string. That's our F sharp. And end on the B note, 7th fret E string. Let's do the whole thing again, all 3 parts. Again. So, next part, part 4, is going to sound like this. So here's how we do that. Back to that G sharp 4th fret of that E string to the F sharp 2nd fret. To E, open. We're now going to get our 1st finger here, 2nd fret of the A string. That's our B note. Sliding it up to the C 3rd fret. Sliding that C note up to D, 5th fret, 5th fret to 7th fret, E note. Let's do that again without the commentary. I'll slow it down. Again. Yes, Joseph, I was just going to say that. Sounds like a bass line, doesn't it? Really sounds like an awesome, awesome bass line. Good ear, Joseph. I love that. Love that. All right, let's combine parts 1 through 4. Here we go. So now we get into the really, really fun part, the octaves. I am such a huge fan of octaves, and anytime I get to play them in a solo, I am all about it. So here's how we're going to do the octave section. So we're playing similar notes that we did at the top. All right, we're just going to play them higher up on the guitar. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to get our 1st finger, all right, and our 4th finger. So our 1st finger and our pinky here. We're going to place our 1st finger on the 14th fret of that A string. That note is B, and we're going to play another B here at the 16th fret of the G string. Notice how they sound the same. All right, so just like that. And we're going to strike that twice. Now notice how I have my 2nd and 3rd finger here. They act as mutes, because right, if we do this, it can sound a little messy. That we don't want to do. So use that 2nd and 3rd finger as a buffer, right? To get the nice clear tones of the notes you want, all right? So we're going to play that twice. Then we're going to slide it up here. 1st finger on the 15th fret, that's going to be a C note, and your 4th finger should be on the 17th fret of the G string, which is another C note. Listen to how they sound the same. Okay, so striking B twice to C. We're going to bring this up one more time. This is the highest we're going to go here on the neck. We're going to get our first finger now on the 17th fret of the A string. That note is D. Your fourth finger, 19th fret of the G string. That note is also D. Have a listen. That's what we want there. And that's what it should sound like. So after we play that D note, we're going to go back to our Bs on the 14th and 16th fret of the A and G string, respectively. All right, so here we go. I'm going to play that through slowly. Nice and clean like that. That's what we want to strive for. Here we go. Just like that. All right, now to give it context, I'll play it with the last section of the solo that we did. So I'll play it with part 4. Here we go. Okay, so got that so far. Let's do that one more time. Just the octave section right there, B, C, and D. Now, if you notice here, I'm doing a little bit of sustain. See how I'm wiggling those notes? We can wiggle them a little bit. We don't want to change the tone of the notes. We just want to give them a little bit of body with the vibrato, okay? Okay, this takes a little bit of practice, but again, perfect, well-intentioned practice makes really great sounding guitar players. All right, here we go. Let's do that again. Okay, now the next part here, we're going to go back to the 11th fret of that A string. This is going to be our G sharp. So we're going to go G sharp, the 11th fret, fourth finger at the 13th fret of that G string, both G sharps. Have a listen. Okay, strike that twice. Don't forget your buffers here, second and third finger. Sliding that up to A, 12th fret and 14th fret of the A string and G string respectively, bringing it back to G sharp, 11th and 13th fret of the A and G string. All right, so just like that. I'll do that now in context with the first octave riff. Here we go. Okay, let's do that again. Now, this part's really fun. This next part. Killer. It's so good. All right. 11th fret of the A string. Okay, we're playing G sharps here. We're going to bring that back a whole step to F sharp. Your first finger should be on the 9th fret of the A string. Your fourth finger should be on the 11th fret of the G string. Sliding that back one more whole step to E, 7th fret of the A string, 9th fret of the G string. Okay, just like that. Now, I do that all on one strum. Notice how nice and clear it sounds. And notice how my thumb, back of the neck, folks, back of the necks, back of the neck. Just like that, all right? So from there, we're going to go to now playing C octaves, first finger, 8th fret of the E string, that's our C. Your fourth finger should be on the 10th fret of the D string. Have your buffers here, second and third finger. C, bringing that up a whole step, now playing Ds, 10th fret of the E string, 12th fret of the D string. And then sliding that up yet again, resolving on E. First finger should be on the 12th fret of the E string, fourth finger, 14th fret of the D string. Those are your E's respectively. All right, so here we go. That sliding back part. Let's do that again. One more time. So let's go ahead and give this context here. I'm going to play through the entire solo, okay? So here we go. That's what's happening there. Now, what we've got here next is this really cool, like just chordal riff, just like right in your face. So after that solo, we've got rhythm, or we've got both guitars. And it is just big and heavy. The chords that are being played there are A, C, back to A, to D. A gets 2 strums, C gets 1, A gets 2 more, and D gets 1. Hold out, let it ring. Just like that. Chords switch up a little bit, all right? So that A, C, A, D repeated twice. Then we go to this, we're just switching some of the chords out here. We're hitting A twice. Now, instead of C, we are playing a D major, back to A, to E. So in context, here we go. So that's what's happening next. Now we get into the really big part of the song. Back to our E major and C, right? That beautiful motif that is running through. I agree. This is like one of the most epic grunge songs ever. It's so good. So now we're gonna really rock out on E and C. Back to that chordal riff. A, D, A, E. Back to our C chord. And then we get into a chorus. So I'm going to go through this whole part here, this bridge part, one time. Here we go. From the end of the solo. Repeat it. Here's the switch up. It is at this point we go back to the chorus. So that's this, the blow up the outside, blow up the outside, blow up the outside. So we got that, the E to C, right? So then what happens next is, I love this part of the song, this is so cool. Have a listen to these chords. So here's what's happening at the very, very end, where it's just blow up the outside, right? Repeating it over and over again, that really cool mantra at the end. So this is what's happening there. those of you who've been watching these lessons, I've been doing these for over a year now, you know how much I love open chords and just really cool, eclectic sounding chords. These are totally there. They're great. All right, so what's happening here, instead of just doing this E to C, right, and sometimes that's C major 7, he does this. Keep this E shape. All right, I want you to slide it up quite a bit here. Slide this E shape. Your first finger should be on the 9th fret of that G string. That's another E note right there. Your second finger should be on the 10th fret of the A string, all right? That's a G. And your third finger should be on C 10th fret of the D string. And you're gonna strum everything. Great. Such a great chord. All right, so just like that. Get all those strings in there too, even that low E. Let's do that again. Now this. This is another E chord right here. We're just playing it literally up an octave. So your first finger should be on the 13th fret of that G string, G sharp. Your second finger should be on the 14th fret of the A string. There's your B, and your third finger is on the E note, 14th fret of the D string. Strum everything. Isn't that great? So let's do that again. With the end of this, he goes back to this open E here at the top, right where we started. He kind of does this really cool kind of bluesy rock hammer-on. He lifts the second and third finger and then brings them back down. That's the tune, folks. It is such a fun one. Really such a joy to play. Thank you all for requesting this one. It is truly just a really beautiful song. Those of you who are watching or aren't familiar with this one, give it a listen. It's great. It's great. And yeah, again, I want to thank all of you for tuning in week after week. It is such an honor and such a blast to hang out with you guys and teach you all how to play some of my favorite tunes. And again, if you guys want to learn more about the cool stuff Fishman is up to, including these killer pickups I'm using on today's lessons, be sure to click the link in the video description. And again, if you're enjoying these lessons, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps the cause. Share it with a friend, all that good stuff. I will be pre-recorded next week because I am going in the studio with my band to record our EP. So I will be at Sunset Sound recording my debut EP next Saturday. So next week's episode will be pre-recorded, but don't worry. It'll be another tune from the 90s. Have your acoustic guitars ready for that one. And yeah, just such a blast. Really excited. So those of you who helped out with the Kickstarter, thank you so much. We are eagerly getting back to work, and we are so excited to be recording at Sunset Sound next week. So I'll be sure to keep all of you guys posted on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe too, because I give you guys insights on what's been going on. So thank you all so much. As always, wishing you much success on your musical journeys. Enjoy this one. It's a really fun one to play. And yeah, everybody take good care, and I will see you soon.